Speaker Pelosi, thank you very much for being here today. My name is Sam. I'm from Northern Virginia. I'm a freshman in the School of Foreign Service. You've spoken about the effects of the Republican tax plan, specifically referring to its effects on average Americans as crumbs. As the son of small business owners, I know that it's helped my parents hire more employees, it's helped us pay off our mortgage, helped put me through college. On a macroeconomic level, the economy is growing, wages are rising for the first time in years. Would you still refer to the effects of this tax plan on average Americans as crumbs?
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Sam, for your question. And yes, there are some benefits that some are feeling in a particular way with the tax bill. My statement was really a fuller statement that says while they provide a banquet for the top 1%, they're giving some crumbs to other people. And that has been something that has been taken up by others as well, some on the Republican side. And why I say that is because here's a tax bill that they advertise as a benefit for the middle class. And did you know that 83% of the benefits of the tax bill go to the top 1%? 83% of the benefits to the top 1%. In the life of the bill, 86 million middle-class families will pay more taxes. That the bill adds, and this is of interest to young people especially, mortgages your future by adding over $2 trillion to the national debt, And then they come back and say, well, we have $2 trillion added to national debt. We have to pay for it by cutting, and the president came out with his budget. The problem with the tax bill is it isn't that we could not have come to a bipartisan agreement about how to lower the corporate rate to a certain amount, not the way they did, or make benefits for some, but not at the expense of so many others. And so here they did. The president's budget came right out. So I said, this tax bill is a dark cloud on America's future and on the Capitol right now. Because the president then came out with his budget, said we've got to find $2 trillion, right? So we took $1 trillion from Medicaid. They did. They took half a trillion dollars from Medicare, $200 billion or more from food stamps, $200 billion or more from education. So we, again, getting back to what I said at the beginning, a budget should be a statement of our values. What's important to us as a nation should be reflected in how we allocate our resources. And by the way, this $1.5 trillion tax break for corporate America, largely big business, also gives them a tax break that makes it cheaper for them to create jobs overseas, not here in our country. This is a bad deal for the American people. And while, the speaker was proud of saying some woman got $1.50 a week, and there are other people who are getting more, the overall, when you look at the impact on families personally in terms of Medicare, Medicaid, and the rest. Medicaid, people think of it as a poor people's program. 2/3 of the people benefiting from Medicaid are little poor children. But 2/3 of the money is for seniors and long-term health care. It's a middle-income benefit. And so when you do that, you are undermining the financial stability of America's families. Medicare, their view of Medicare is it should wither on the vine. And the speaker had his proposal to take away the guarantee and make it a voucher, undermining the financial security of America's working families. What they're doing in the food and the farm bill right now is so out of whack without of any charity, love, sense of community. The way they're taking food out of the mouths of children, having work requirements. We all believe in some work requirements, but what they're doing is just bureaucratic and not consistent with our values. So I have no hesitation in saying that what they did, and even one of the Republicans said this is probably the worst, most unpopular and worst bills. And if I knew what the consequences were, I wouldn't have voted for it before. But too late now. Not too late, because when we win, we will revisit that and we will say, how do we do what we want to do for small business, which are the job creators, the capital formers in our economy. Very important. But they should have done much better in this bill, rather than big corporate America getting the benefits that they got. So this is, again, about the bill, but about the impact that it had on the budget. And by the way, they say, oh, these tax breaks are going to pay for themselves. First, they're going to pay for themselves, and then we have to take it out of Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, and education. But understand this, the people, the supply side, this is a difference. In their genes, in their DNA, the Republicans are about supply side, trickle-down economics. If you do tax cuts for the top, it's going to benefit somebody else down below. Never has. But even those who believe in that, and one of them, Bruce Bartlett, perhaps you've seen him on TV, he's written a book on the subject. He worked with Jack Kemp, a former colleague whom I respected so much, but didn't agree with him on the supply side. He said, when we believe in this trickle down, but we never said it paid for itself. Anyone who tells you that, it's not true, it's nonsense, and it's BS, except in this religious setting. I wouldn't anyway say the words, but so it's wrong. It's wrong for our country. And again, we will fight it, respectful that there may be some advantages to some. 83% of the benefits go to the top 1%. Is that a statement of anybody's values? I just don't see it. So again, there's a way to do bipartisanship. When you do a tax plan, it should be bipartisan. The last one, 1986, Ronald Reagan in the White House, Tip O'Neill, and the Democrats in the Congress worked together for over a year, listening to what are the ramifications of these provisions. This thing, dark of night, speed of light, they read it and then they put it forth. And now they're coming to us and say, can we change this? Can we change that? Can we change this? Can we change that? Well, we have to put the whole thing on the table. Put a proposal on the table that promotes growth for our country, creates good paying jobs, and reduces the debt. What they did does not meet that standard at all. But thank you, Sam, and I'm glad you're benefiting from it.